When you watch a video about improving your life, you probably think that it's going to cover a certain topic. And I do want to discuss the 7 things that made my life better. But before I do, let's cover the obvious. Here are the obvious 7 things that'll change your life, just before we get into the 7 all true and meaningful life-changing tasks. Getting enough sleep, waking up early, working out daily, staying hydrated, eating well, taking care to stress less, and reducing your screen time. Now, as I mentioned, these are the obvious things that we should be doing to improve our life. But there are 7 things that I would consider to be life-changing that we often overlook. Number 1 is to be intentional about time spent online. As a content creator, I notice that I have a tendency to spend more time online than off. So I've learned it's best for me, at least, to post and ghost. And I allow myself 30 minutes per day to engage with people who I actually follow. That's right. Gone are the days of just scrolling mindlessly on a general page or a For You page trying to discover new people to follow. Instead, I focus all of that time and energy online on the accounts that I do follow. Because what good is it to follow these accounts if I never interact with them or engage with them? And the best part is, eventually, you run out of content when you do this. And also, it just limits your intake of other people's energy and keeps you from constantly scrolling. Number 2 is to declutter regularly and shop intentionally. So I used to have this tendency to shop for fun, only to later declutter those same items. So I keep a running shopping list, and often if I can go without an item for 30 days, I don't bother getting it. This forces me to appreciate what I have and to not accumulate stuff that I don't need. Also, clutter just makes me anxious, so anything I can do to stay ahead of it, I do. And the act of regularly decluttering makes cleaning such a breeze. Number 3, the 2-minute rule. This was crafted by David Allen, but if an action will take less than 2 minutes, it should be done at the moment it's defined. This does 3 things. It helps to keep small tasks from piling up, things like laundry, dishes, tidying up, all of which take very little time if you do them regularly and at the moment that they're defined. The second thing is, it keeps your headspace free from the mental list of to-dos that's constantly accumulating in our heads. Third, it keeps you from procrastinating doing other things. Number 4, getting outdoors more. Again, there are obvious reasons why you should get outdoors more frequently, but it improves your mood. It gives you a daily change of scenery, especially if you're home most of the time. It improves your fitness. It gets you a walk in even when you otherwise wouldn't have, right? It helps you to clear your head, and it sparks ideas and creativity. And honestly, the right time of year, it just feels good. So get outside. Number 5 is having a morning routine. I know this is the typical cringe one, but it helps you to get the big daunting things out of the way, the things that really matter and that you despise, that you wouldn't do if you knew that you didn't have to. Having a morning routine also forces you to be productive in ways that you otherwise wouldn't. And it opens up your day for more freedom because, again, when you have a routine and you get things done in a way that is monotonous, the things that you need to get done are no longer following you throughout the rest of your day. Having a morning routine can also just boost your mood because as you move through those tasks and you get them done, you feel better. Maybe your morning routine includes your walk, because if you don't do it in the morning, you won't get it done. Or your workout, because if you don't do it in the morning, you won't get it done. It may also include reading or working on a particular project that you're not thrilled about but you know needs to be done. Having that routine and sticking to the routine allows you to be more productive and to get more done. And then again, you get to enjoy the rest of your day, so you feel good. Number 6 is going to sound like it's working against what I just said, but it's not. Working outside of time as much as possible. I used to have a very strict schedule, but it impeded on my creativity because sometimes I would be in a flow, but my alarm would tell me that it was time to move to the next thing. I also started to feel like a prisoner or a student to my craft. So living outside of time just means that I know every day there are things that I set out to do, and unless time requires a certain order of completion, I allow myself to work freely without restriction if I need to. So this is where the morning routine comes in. There are always things that are obligations that I have to do. I don't necessarily want to do them, but I have to. So I try to include those things in my morning routine or just after I finish my morning routine so that I have the rest of the day to work outside of time and to move at a more leisurely pace so as not to disturb my creativity. It just brings me so much more satisfaction to do things when I'm ready. Now, this is only applicable to the things I know I won't talk myself out of. So again, there are certain things that I put in my morning routine because I know myself. And I know that if it's not in the morning routine, I will not do it. So I advise you to do the same. And number 7 is gratitude. I can tell you a million things that I don't like about my life or my circumstances. But why? All that does is focus on what I lack or what I want to change. Daily gratitude has been one of the biggest practices that has resulted in monumental change. Instead of victimizing myself in the event of inconveniences, I actually find myself always searching for a benefit or a reason to be thankful. All it does is helps me to focus more on opportunity and believing things are happening for me and not to me. Now, if you notice, all 7 of these things are things that you can do, and none of them will require much energy, thought, or money to try them out consistently. So go ahead and get started, and who knows, maybe they'll change your life too.